Hello, guys. You're welcome once again to this lesson. In our last lesson, we saw on the topic of a system unit, system software. I encourage you, if you have not watched that video lesson, please do so that you can get yourself ready for this particular lesson video. As you can see very very well, you can see that the computer that we use, be it our mobile device, smart device, and so on and so forth, it's electronic gadget, and that electronic gadget has a component called a system unit. So that's what we're going to be learning this moment. Please, I want you, if you have not subscribed, to do so. Okay, and share with others. So let's dive into the learning outcomes or the learning objectives. Remember, I keep on telling you that every learning lesson has one learning objective, which states that to assist you to introspect, to evaluate yourself, to know if you really get yourself whether you understood, whether you have grabbed what you need to grab on every particular lesson. Okay, so here are all our lesson objectives, starting from the differentiate between the 5 basic types of system unit, or down to the number 9 says explain how a computer can interpret numbers and encode characters electronically. These are all our lesson outcomes or learning objectives. Now, in the introduction, it says that the speed, capacity, and the flexibility of a computer, right, determine the personal computer, in a sense that every computer is measured by the speed, by the capacity, okay, and the flexibility of it handling a lot of things and being able to adapt different situation, different task, and so on and so forth. And that is what it entails. Okay, be it your personal computer, your and all the rest of all different kinds of computers have this the power to have this the determinant factors. Okay, and the knowledge of a computer's powers allows you to make good buying decision. Great. And most times when people want to buy a gadget, they look at this. And I have a video where I've already talked about um, what you can do for yourself before buying a given computer. Please, I want you to watch that very video. It's not a lengthy video, just a short video that gives you an idea on that aspect of the capacity, the speed, and the flexibility when making a buying decision. Determine if if your current system will run new application. Very important, and that aspect is on the ability also to talk about the flexibility. This computer, this system, this device you want to buy, is it able to do what? To capacitate you to run new applications. And the competent user needs to understand the functionalities, okay, of a basic component of a system unit. We're not going to dive into some jargons, the practicality of this. This is all about, as a competent end user, what you need to know about what system unit. Okay, as we can see here, a system unit is a container, right, that houses most of the electronic components that makes up a computer system. Now, I know you have seen a computer whereby a desktop, mostly, whereby you see the monitor and then you see another machine sitting under the desk. or line side by side. And that is a typical example of your system unit. In that very place, what it houses is what? All the electronic components that makes that display, that assists the monitor to be effective. And also, that is what is called, it has a chassis, right? And that everything there is a system unit. So within the system unit, it contains this. And the system unit also, on the electronic component that enables you to engage with external devices, right? And that is what it can help you do. As we can see here right now on our system unit types, we have the desktop there. And on that very desktop, there is a separate system unit, which is called CPU. So this is a desktop, right? And then this is the mouse, this is the desktop, this is the mouse, this is the keyboard, and then the other one, the black and gray, is a system unit, okay, which has the what? The tower unit all in one, all components including the monitor. Now, in a current, in there is today, there are computers that comes with that, right? Like you can see here, you see a desktop, but that desktop has also a system unit inbuilt into the computer. And then your laptop, which is a portable and much smaller than your desktop, with your ultra books, laptops, and tablet in one. Your gaming performing and end user graphics. These are all um, types of types of system units which can be in a gaming device and so on and so forth, your laptop and all the rest of them. Also, it comes in the form of a tablet, which is a mini tablet, as you can see on the screen. And also it has your smartphone, most popular device, handheld computer, right? Extend the capacity of a normal cell phone. So the difference between your normal cell phone and your touchlight phone, right? That only has the keypad that can use to play your radios, make your calls and everything without internet capacity. Right? What's the difference between that and your smartphone? The smartphone is what? It's an extension of your cellular phone, cell phone, and that is it. And then also your wearable device, as you can see, the last picture there that contain embedded computer that you can wear as a watch. Okay, the component of a system unit. Although all devices comes in many shapes, as you can see, as we have seen from the previous system unit types, right? That, however, the size and type, they all have similar things like your what? Your motherboard, your microprocessor, and your memory, irrespective of the size and the shape. These are the three components they all have in common. And what is a motherboard? Look at the screen and see the picture there. You see a motherboard contain, right? It can be called a motherboard or a mini board, a main board, sorry, and then system board, which is what control the entire communication of the computer. The ability for you to use your computer to perform a given task is being facilitated by the motherboard. No matter the task you are doing, the function of a motherboard is for you to be able to do or to control all different kinds of communication that plays in within your system unit. So all components and devices connected to the motherboard. So it's the central. That's why I say it's what is the main board of your computer. So which also provide the part of what data part, how the data will be able to transmit, and also the trafficking part to be able to control. Remember the way you can see the way your traffic light works, your robot works, the same way this works. That's what it controls the traffic, who comes in, who goes first, and all the data that comes in, the process that comes in, and how they can be processed. And that is the work of your mother, of what the motherboard also does, allowing various components to communicate effectively with one another. Okay, it also provides you the path for you to understand that what Within the system unit, you have your sockets and your chips, right? These are what the motherboard contain variety of electronic components, and one of them is your socket, right? Remember, a motherboard is within the system unit. And now the socket is for the connecting port for chips. As you can see on the screen, those things are what are the chips, right? And the chip, what is the chip? It's a small time circuit board, right? And enlarged upon a square of a silicon containing the electronic circuit. And now, they also call it a silicon chip or semiconductor or an integrated circuit. However, it mounted on the ship carrier. What is this work? It has the ability to have all the interconnected components such as your transistors for them to function. Now, the ability for your computer to be able to send signals, switch signals, transmit signals from one point to another is all about one of the functions of your computer chips. Okay, and then again within the system unit you have a slot and bus line, an additional system component which is your bus line, right? And the slot which provide, for example, your slot provide what a connection point for specialized cards, right? Or circuit card, providing what expansion capability for your computer. Now, your computer can do a lot of things, and for those things to be done, for you to have some cards, socialized card, your gaming card, and all the rest of them to be installed on your computer, that is the work of what? Of your slot. Also, the bus line, as you can see the picture there, as it bus line, right, which facilitate what? The connecting line that provide the pathway to support communication among electronic components, and that is the function of your bus line. Within the system unit, we have microprocessor, which is what? Central processing unit, contain a single chip called a processor, which is the main brain of the computer, which has two components, the control and the arithmetic unit, logic unit. Within your control unit, it tells the computer system how to carry out a program or the instruction. By the time you're on your computer, right? As by the time you send a command, whether switching on the computer, whether you are typing, whether you are doing this or doing that, everything, the communication, right? And how functions, how tasks can be performed within that computer is being controlled by the what? Being handled by the control unit that tells how the task, how a command instructions will be carried out, and which one how it should be carried out on everything. So it is a coordinator of everything, all the processes that happens within your computer system. And your arithmetic logic unit perform the arithmetic and operations, your calculations, and all the rest of them. Now, within your microprocessor, there is also chips one, right? Which has the capacity, which are expressed in words. Now, the word is the number of bits that can be processed at a time. Remember, in one of the previous classes we talked about that what your computer does not understand human words or human written words. That those written words are being transmitted, are being converted into a readable language of the computer, and those readable language of the computer is being measured in bits. That is it. So also your microprocessor chips also provide the part of what clock's speed. Processing speed or number of time the CPU fetches and processes data is in seconds. And that is what the function of your what? Of your clock speed to do what? To regulate, to provide how the speed and the number of time how your CPU engage in carrying out its task. You have a multi-core chips, right? Which provide the multiple processor there are two or more separate or independent units within a system unit, right? And that is and today now when people buy computer, talking about call this, call that, and all the rest of them. And that is because it has the power to have more than one separate independent was CPU, which also provide that very capability for a computer to function more effectively, even more faster than any other computer, right? We have a parallel processing, computer ability to divide tasks into parts, into segments, right? That can help you to distribute across each core. That is it. And then also, like your Windows 8 and Mac X support parallel processing, as you can see there, and their manufacturers. Okay, specialty processor, which is co-processor designed to improve specific computing operations, and then also it provides your graphic processing abilities, like you're designed to handle variety of specialized tasks, like your 3D or encrypting data, standard features in gaming computer. These are different um, functions that your specialty processor can be able to handle through what a core processor by being able to handle specialized tasks through your 3D. Remember, these computers were built or were not have been there before 3Ds or were not compatible. But you found out that instead of having a specialized computer, but you can run things like your 3D images on the same computer, right? Because it has the ability to do so. And what is memory? As humans have memory, and what does memory do for you? It does these things to area, holding area for data, right? Instructions and information. It contains what on chips connected to the system board, which is what to be able to remember. Sometimes what your memory does, right? And for that to happen inside a computer, this also happens the same way. You have your long time and short time. So you have your RAM, have your ROM, random access memory, and what read-only memory, and you have your flash memory. And what is your RAM? Your random access memory, chips holds programs and data that the CPU is presently processing. When you are doing something on a computer, that data is being processed immediately, right? And what your RAM will do is to hold that. And then the holding part is temporal, right? That content are lost when the power is switched off. So as soon as the power goes off in a place where there's a frequency of taking light, electricity keeps on dropping, or not even that. Let's say your electricity, your electricity, that is your meter finishes, right? It switches off. So in that case, right now, whatever you are doing in that computer, mainly on your desktop, it goes away. And also on your left, it sometimes it does, sometimes it can still retrieve, but that is what everything you do that is being processed immediately is saved where? On your RAM. Then also cache memory, temporary high speed holding area between the memory and the CPU that also been extended on that. So additional RAM can be added using your expansion mode called what? Dual dual inline memory module, which also can assist in expanding the holding area of your RAM. It also contains the virtual RAM, right? Dividing the program between memory and the storage, enabling the system to run very large programs. Perfect. You see? So a virtual memory will assist you to run a very large programs without having an issue with your computer, which runs um, in megabyte to terabytes. Okay. Another part of the of your holding of your memory is your ROM, which is what read-only memory. Information stored on the by the manufacturer is stored where? On the ROM, which is what even when the power goes off, even when the light electricity goes off, the content remains the same. For example, your um, your operating system, right? Where is it gonna be? Is it gonna be the RAM or the ROM? Good. And then the CPU can read, retrieve, and retrieve data programs in the ROM, but the computer cannot change the ROM. Now, the instruction is being input. It doesn't change whether the power goes off. You can manipulate it by deleting it just like that. They contain a specialized instruction like your that assists the computer to start. Now, and that is what the booting process of your computer, making it to start to be on, is being what? What makes that to start to be on is control, is being stored under your what? Your own access memory, handling keyboard input. They're all being what your own can be. What is your flash? Flash combine the features of your RAM and the ROM. It can be updated, right? It gives you the opportunity for you to do what? To update whatever that is contained. But your ROM do not update. Whatever the instruction, whatever that is inbuilt in the system cannot be altered. It contains the backup information, which is your basic input and output system. Amount of the ROM, that's a keyboard, a mouse, secondary storage that is being connected. Only your ROM chips are being replaced by what? Many of the ROMs today are being replaced by what? Your flash memory. And today, some will say my flash stick and everything. Okay. Okay, now we have expansion slots and cards, right? Which provide the expansion of your system computer system capabilities. So it assists in doing what? In providing cards, graphic cards for high performing tasks, your 3D graphics and all the rest of them. And that can happen, that can be installed or operated through your word expansion and slot and cards, right? Your network interface card which assists the device to be connected to the internet. And that can be done through your what expansion card. Remember that your laptop, your desktop have ability to work with Wi-Fi, wireless and wired. And for that to happen, for that cable to work on that computer, it goes through expansion card called what? Your NIC, network interface card. And that is it. You also have the wireless network card which connect device to the network without a cable. Now, this card is mostly being built in by computers these days. You don't need a wireless network card for your computer to be connected to internet, right? But it's inbuilt, being that what the ability for you to identify your Wi-Fi, right? To run it because of this very card. Okay, so we have our wireless we have our card expansion card SD card, which is a expansion card for mobile devices. So now under our bus line and bus, they connect part of the computer to each other or with various other components on the computer motherboard or system board. That is your board. What your bus line can do is it assists you to connect parts of the CPU to each other using various components of the system board. It's also the pathway for bits representing data and instruction. Very important. So your bus can also be measured in width, right? Which was a number of bits that can travel and sometimes down a bus, right? Simultaneously. And then the architecture and the design are tied to the speed and the power of your computer. no matter the fanciful, the design layout of your computer is being attached to what? To the speed and the power of your computer. So no matter how beautiful the computer can be, the beauty, the elegantness, the attraction is being built around how the speed and the power of that very computer. So there are two kinds of buses. You have a system bus, which assists you to connect your CPU to a memory. Have your expansion bus, which connects your CPU to other components of your computer. Expansion boxes, which a principal type, which is like one of the principal type of it is your what? Universal Serial Bus, USB, which connect external USB device to the USB port. Have your fire wire, which typically present the primarily used to connect the audio and the video equipment to the computer board. You have your PCI Express, which is a single dedicated part for each connected device. So you find out that, I keep on saying, that this module is not away from what you have known before now. The only thing that is attaching names and the explanation to what you have used and what you have known before now. So right now, when you see your PCI Express, what it simply does is what? It has a dedicated signal path for each connected device. Every device connected, they have your what? The path through which they can be able to provide a machine or the communication to each other. So you have your ports as well in your CPU, right? Which are the socket for connecting external devices to the CPU. And that is what it allows you to do. As you can see on your screen, on those two pages, on those two pictures, which your port provides you what? The ability for you as a computer to do what? To connect to do what? To external devices to the CPU. So it provides the connection directly to the CPU, provide the connection, it connects directly the card inserted to the computer slot on the CPU with two types, standard and specialized ports. Under your standard port, what are you seeing? You are seeing your things like your under USB, things like your keypad and all the rest of them. Under internet, high speed network that will allow you to do what? Remember, there is what is called internet and ethernet. And in this case, we're talking about internet, which provide the high speed networking ability, internet networking ability within within your system. Okay. Also, you have your HDMI, which assists you to connect your computers for videos and audios to be played. Device to that for you to work. Have your Thunderbolt, which provide high-speed connectivity. It can connect up to 7 separate devices in one port. And today now, we're beginning to see such kind of devices that can assist you. You have one device, right? We can assist you to connect up to that have different ports within it that allows you to connect multiple ports in that very computer. You have a specialized port, which also external serial advanced technology attachment, right? Which provide high-speed connection for external secondary storages. You have your musical instrument is gonna be part of your specialized ports. You have your mini display ports, which also and so on and so forth. So these are different kinds of specialized port on your CPU that also provides you access to the resources. Okay, cables. Here we have different kinds of cable. We have the cable that is called USB. So what we call flash stick is called what? USB, which is what? Universal Serial Bus. Okay, which you have your HDMI, you have your Thunderbolt, you have your Ethernet for internet. So these are different kinds of cables that works on your that can be slotted through a port on your CPU. Okay, making IT work for you. In today, what do we see what is called a TV tuner, which is for using your browser as a DVR, which you store the toner to your computer. It helps you to connect to other computers. Connect your computer or cable to your computer. That is what your what your TV tuner assists you to do in order for you to have access to what? To the rest of the world, to the internet. The another aspect of your system unit is the power supply. Computer require direct current, right? That assist in what? Converting alternative current from from the battery, okay? Which in this case, when you have your desktop computer have is power supply to the unit. You have your laptop uses alternating current AC that's in the system unit and so on and so forth. Okay, as you can see, how the power, which is to enable the computer to be alive. We have a numeric representation. So here, two state binary systems. What does it do? It consists of two or more digital component called the bits. And I talked about before that your computer understand the signals, not as you understand it in a literal way. What it simply does is that it has the negative charge and the positive charge with the ability for you to do what to be able to have different kinds of bits that is a system command bit that the system can process into a given information, and that is it. So use 6 digits to represent binary code or binary numbers between zeros and one. Now, in this case right now, how does this chapter lesson prepare you for the future work ahead, or what's the opportunity in it? Which and someone that this program can be called what computer technicians who assist in repairing, reinstalling, and of computer components and the system. So what this does for you is at today in our world that this module, this lesson can actually prepare you towards that very part. Okay, there are other things to consider actually, not just preparing. Maybe someone will be saying, but so I can be able to do that even when I'm doing a different mode that is away from computing. Okay, so the employer looks for certification or associated degree in computer repairs and all that and all that. What can you possess to achieve that? You need to possess what communication skills, okay, and a continuous education for you to be able to do what to be a computer analyst, and that is how much they have been paid a few years ago, which I know have changed presently. When we look from today, what do we see? We see a world whereby wearable computers will be more pronounced. There will be more wearable components, wearable computers, and so on and so forth. Okay, we're going to see going to the future how you can be able to send email while jogging. How possible? You don't need to sit for you to type your email, but you can do that while doing your jogging exercise. Okay, you can maintain your computer schedule book, and then remember the name of the people at a party. That is what the computer can do for you. You don't need to do your counting again. The computer can be able to do that for you, being able to remember the name of the people and that very this is the party. Okay, so now look at this lesson, this very chapter. It has some number of questions that will assist you. And when we look at those questions are more or less taken from the research outcome objectives for you to test yourself if actually you have mastered this very particular lesson. So here are the questions. Please, I want you to take your time, go through the questions, address them, attend them, and all the rest of them. Okay, and that is all from me. Thank you so much. And if there are questions, please feel free to send me those questions using the available contact. Okay, thank you so much, guys. See you in the next class. And remember to subscribe and to share with others.